What's happening, everyone? Aaron Jackson here with the Rotation Report. And yeah, is this an emergency stream, an emergency show? Well, it might be. We'll have to dive into it. But first up, let's just level set. Okay, so this week, it's late August, middle of summer, less earnings. But the big thing is Wall Street, zero IPOs this week. No shit assets to dump on the public. They don't give a fuck what happens. They're at the Hamptons. They'll pour some gasoline, they'll light the match, throw it on there, and just get on out of town and say, fuck them, shouldn't have been chasing those growth stocks. And that's where we're at right now. The AI trade, all the leveraged type of trades, crypto and all that, that's what's seeing the weakness in the market. And, that's where all the leverage is in the system. So when we say, hey, is it something to be worried about? Maybe. So let's dive right into it here. All right. First up, okay, you got some questionable price action. You're like, all right, you got a little fear in the market, maybe? Not really. Look at that. The fear ratio, barely off the lows. Obviously, we want to see a spike to feel better, to see some fear in the market. But earlier today, there was a lot of rotation in like banks and transports and home builders. And not sure that's going to continue, but that's what it is for now. And we can see high beta versus low volatility. Okay, so the high beta names are getting wrecked today, and you're like, oh, that's pretty nasty. Is it done already? Well, if we look at high beta versus low vol, we could be at the beginning of the beginning here. It's been kind of going sideways for a month and a half. Maybe a top here. We don't know that, but not out of the realm of possibility. And then if we look at like low volatility versus the S&P 500, you can see, below prior major lows. So maybe still bullish, but, just a couple more days of selling, just a couple more triggering, and could be a big tradable low there. We'll see. So, extended market, is it going to roll over? What are we looking at? Let's look at Robinhood. You can see kind of a divergence built up there, but still holding up above the 20-day. Man, tell you what, this thing just keeps catching a bid. Pretty damn impressive. And none of these are in order. So fantastic. Let's look at some biotech here. That we're looking at healthcare. So this Ascend Pharmaceuticals, great looking base here. Biotech catching a bullet or two off of this Viking Therapeutics. Well, they have a fat pill that failed. They had I don't know. Why don't people just get their fat pills from GNC, with the good amphetamines or whatever? But we'll see what's next. Oh, there's Viking. You can see this 24 area, 25, something like that. It's also the 200-week moving average, long-term pivot. And we look down a little bit. Still a firm Momo print. So I don't know. This you can argue that it's fine here, but it took out all biotech today, which, maybe biotech had it coming as it is a high beta group. And we're on to China, apparently. Interesting. We got China tech earnings coming down the pipe, big way these next couple of days. You got China data centers. I think there's also like Baidu, maybe Billy, a couple of those guys. But anyways, I don't know if you've been trying to trade the China, but my God, it's hard to trade. Catch a good trade in these names. They're slippery. They're slick. I don't know if it's actually, we're looking at the CQQQ, but I don't know if they're actually going to break out. You could say it's a big bottom base on verge of breaking out in the China tech. I'm not sure that it's going to. This FXI really sums it up. Like, it just has not been able to clear really that September momentum high. Meanwhile, China small caps they've been on just a heater, but trying to catch a trade in China has been very, very difficult. We'll see if that changes moving forward. And there's the CQQQ. We can say this is a bottom just about to break out. Big lid there, though. Big lid there. It might fail. It could always fail. And when you look left, you're like, that's kind of a mess over on the left. So, undecided, but we will see. But now crypto. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? Bitcoin really has become a laggard over the last month. I was just looking at this the other day, and Ethereum and like a Chainlink, they had been up 50% since July 14th, while Bitcoin has gone nowhere. So massive relative laggard all of a sudden here. You can see we're keeping an eye on this 112-ish area, 112K. It's been an uptrend this whole time. It's still basically an uptrend. You hold this 112K area. Okay, what do we got? That'd be interesting if it can keep holding up, but real ugly action, underneath the surface really lately there. But the one that's worth keeping an eye on, MicroStrategy. Big deal here, right? Because this, for a while, we're all talking about it, MicroStrategy. Yeah, it outperforms Bitcoin. It's awesome. Well, it has not followed Bitcoin to new highs this summer. Look at that. And now right here, losing the 200-day moving average. Pretty wild stuff. Does this kind of create some sort of crisis in crypto, in Bitcoin? Not going to rule it out. Again, this is where all the leverage is. Everyone's levered up on this trade. If anyone owns crypto now, while people are still, I think in general, are underexposed to crypto, funds are not underexposed to Bitcoin because that was the first one, right? Everyone could get in on that. So not sure how we're feeling about it. Not great. Would not be long this. And while we're at it, yeah, any of the Bitcoin treasury companies, no thank you. Any of the Bitcoin miners, hell no. Hell no. I know Bitcoin miners have been strong lately. Are they Bitcoin miners? Are they AI infrastructure? Oh, they're both. How convenient. Anyways, it's all kind of the same leverage. It's all kind of the same trade. And this whole pocket, very risky. Not going to be like, oh, well, Wolf wasn't a great trade. We're not going to say, Iron can't keep going higher, a couple of those crypto miners. But, tread carefully, I would say. And then we've got Ethereum here. You know me, been loud and proud about the Ethereum. One thing that really stands out is off this April low, look at that. We got one move higher, pullback, a second move higher, dip, and a third move higher. So you could say, the wave theorists definitely would say, hey, that's a completed move here. And if we zoom this chart out to 2021, this 4,800 area, all-time high, top of the bigger range. So all I'm saying here is it could be, Ethereum. I think it's fine. I think it's going to be fine. I think eventually it breaks 5. And after it breaks 5, we're looking at 20. But for now, you're looking at possible, everyone's talking about the September sell-off, right? It's coming. The big unwind is coming in September, maybe. And, so we could say like, all right, you get the big September unwind. And until then, Ethereum is just kind of chopping around. But, we'll take it day by day, week by week and see how it goes. As a trade, like 4,100 stands out in the Ethereum, obviously. And then if we're looking for trades in the Ethereum, this is Bitmine Immersion, the Ethereum treasury company. Anyways, you can see the last few weeks, this has been a great indicator here. Ethereum moves low, makes a new move low. Bitmine does not. Nice positive divergence there. You want to buy the Ethereum. And then last week, you got the rip in Ethereum. Bitmine quits going higher, and it's a sell signal. So we'll be keeping an eye on that just for any trading signals. And hopefully, if you could catch it around a 4,100 or 3,900, something like that, awesome. That would be pretty great tell. And then next up, we've got the metals. So I've been following GDXJ, right? Junior gold miners. And it's been looking good. It's been stair-stepping higher. But then interesting, a lot of old pros use this Philadelphia gold and silver index. And I hadn't realized it until a friend pointed it out. 2010 high here just last week. So does that mean, are we now back to the point where, hey, it's fuckery late in the apex in gold and actually gold and silver is going to chill out here? I mean, this is as good a spot as any. And, a lot of big money pays attention to this over your gold miner index. So stuff like that. So we'll see how the consolidation goes in the coming weeks. But again, just another one where it's like, oh man, I don't know. I don't think we can, I don't think we want to be long at this moment, unfortunately. And there's the GDXJ. You can see, like, you can knock 10% off this thing. It's fine. So 10%, 12%, it'll be fine. Nothing will change. So definitely another one. Keep an eye on the old watch list. Oh yeah. Next up, we've got like AI power and nat gas. Look at this thing. EQT. I'll keep bringing it up because it is the best nat gas play, and it'll tell us a lot about a lot. Pretty much. So Monday caught a random downgrade from some random firm. Congrats to them for knocking it below the 200-day. We'll keep an eye on this. It's going to be just about go time, because think about what it means if natural gas is, supposed to be this big AI play and a big export play that's booming, and the best producer can't even hold the uptrend. So definitely one thing we're keeping an eye on. And then next up, batteries. Okay, so you look into the utilities this quarter, and you go through them one by one, and they're kind of admitting already that they're going to be short on power next year. My own electric utility is like, next year we're signing up all these data centers, and next year there's going to be times when we're short on power, but we're going to do energy storage and we're going to do solar, and it's going to be okay. So you can see, like, this is going to be like a power crisis at some point. So we like all the power plays, all the battery plays. You've seen the recent breakout in the solar stocks, right? As they get the regular, the tax bill clarity, what have you, and things like a Bloom Energy. I think I might have that one in this deck. Where it's just on-site, off-grid power production. So you're not, getting your electric bill boosted. Your electricity prices through the roof because of the data centers. Lots of backlash coming their way, and it's just going to be a real societal thing here. Oh, there's Bloom. I mean, Jesus Christ, huh? This is testing all-time highs here. I guess, you could say ride the 8-day, I guess. I don't know. It's very stretched at this point, but it is going to be a societal type of thing here, power crisis type thing. And then really interesting to see nuclear utilities, like Constellation, never made new highs from January. Now really rolling over here, kind of at May levels. You hit higher levels in May, and now we're kind of below that, losing the 50-day. We'll see if it catches a bid here, but nuclear, it's a very long-term story. So it makes sense that it would not go anywhere for a while, right? Here's nuclear ETF NLR. You can say the 50-day moving average caught up for the first time, and that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Maybe it does catch a bid somewhere around here. 40 RSI on the daily. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know that it's going to break lower. Definitely keeping an eye on it. We'll see. And then there's the solar ETF. Look at that thing. Massive fake breakdown here. Now break the more recent trend from late 2023. It has room to run. It has room to run. Power crisis incoming. And then, the story of the week here. These garbage type of names, that caught so much momentum, and they're just getting wrecked. And here's Hims and Hers Health. Could bottom around here. The better area to take a shot would be, mid-20s, lower 20s, mid-lower 20s, something like that. We'll see how it goes. Definitely one of the ones to keep an eye on in terms of, the more shit assets. And then, we got software trying to roll over today. We'll see. It seems like it is, but then you've got some of these leaders like AppLovin. Check that guy out. Just a 20-day test here. Looks pretty good. MACD spot, right? Maybe you can argue it'd catch a bid here. Leadership type of name. We'll see if it does. And then there's the IGV, right? It looks like a pretty clean breakdown. Relative lagging. It's falling down the relative groups, like falling off a cliff there, right? And just seems like lower is coming. And then it's all cross tech too, right? Because AI, it's not just a few stocks. It's it's a lot of stocks. It's industrials, it's energy, we've got oil services that are now, AI plays, right? That's where we're at. It's power, it's backup power, it's everything. We've got electrical components. J-Bill here. Look at that breakdown. Went nowhere for a couple months. Now breaking down, lost the 50-day moving average. You can see $30 to support. So could be some downside out there. And then another one, if we just want to use a leader in AI as a tell, or in the tech as a tell, Reddit's a great one. It's pretty simple. They have all the data and the content that the AI companies crave. And it's how much are you willing to pay for the shit? Because it's only going to the highest bidder. You can see right here, 230, the what is that, January, February high, kind of what, 8-day moving average. We'll see if it holds up there. And yeah, that about covers it. I don't know. Is it an emergency? Well, maybe not. Maybe. Keeping an eye on a few of those things. Biotech, not really worried about it. Just a dip into the 8-day. We'll see. We'll see. But, it's definitely with your micro strategy and your kind of crypto, and you got a lot of these bigger, like your oracles, the data center names. Okay, complete rollovers here. Definitely a lot of stuff to keep an eye on. Credo, AI networking leader, down 10% today. It's also the largest name in the small caps, the largest holding in IWM. So much for the IWM is going to outperform tech on a rollover here, huh? And plenty of these breakdowns here. Palantir down 9%. That was an old Fibonacci target that it hit 50 days, 152. So you're already kind of getting closer to a support there, but big things happening. Let's see about NVIDIA. We got one NVIDIA looks like it can roll over still. Again, not predetermined. That's not the world we're living in. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm thinking trying to buy some dips in healthcare, and we will see about the rest. And that'll do it for the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Y'all have a great day.